Imagine holding a piece of metal so dangerous it could silently kill you with a single mistake. No fire, no explosion, just an invisible, deadly wave of energy. In the 1940s, during the intense race to build the atomic bomb, American scientists created just such an object. They would later give it a chilling nickname, the Demon Core. As World War II neared its end, the Manhattan Project produced a small sphere of plutonium. It was about the size of a grapefruit, smooth, metallic, and deceptively simple in appearance, but packed inside was an almost unimaginable power. This sphere was intended to be the heart of a third atomic bomb, set to follow the attacks on Hiroshima and Nagasaki. However, Japan surrendered before it could be deployed, so the core was sent to the Los Alamos laboratory for further testing. Initially, the scientists handled it with a sense of confidence, maybe even bravado. They were the world's leading experts in a brand new field, and they believed their skill and knowledge were enough to keep this incredible power under control. The Demon Core, however, would soon prove them tragically wrong. On the night of August 21, 1945, a physicist named Daghlian was working late in the lab, all alone. He was performing a delicate experiment, stacking heavy tungsten carbide bricks around the plutonium core. These bricks acted like mirrors for neutrons, and the goal was to see just how close the core could get to a critical state without actually going over the edge. As he carefully placed the final brick, his hand slipped. The brick fell directly onto the sphere. In an instant, a brilliant, eerie blue light filled the room. A wave of heat washed over Daghlian. He instinctively knocked the brick away, halting the runaway nuclear reaction. But the damage was already done. He had just absorbed a massive, lethal dose of radiation. Over the next few weeks, his body broke down in a horrifying sequence. His hands blistered, his hair fell out, and he fell into a coma. Despite all medical efforts, Daghlian died just 25 days later. He was the first victim of the Demon Core. You'd think an incident like that would change everything. But less than a year later, scientists were still using the very same core for hands-on experiments. On May 21, 1946, another brilliant physicist, Slotin, was demonstrating a similar criticality test to a group of colleagues. His method involved lowering a half-dome of beryllium over the core, using only the tip of a flathead screwdriver to keep the two halves from closing completely. It was a notoriously risky maneuver, nicknamed tickling the dragon's tail, but Slotin had performed it many times before. Then, the unthinkable happened again. The screwdriver slipped, the beryllium hemisphere dropped, and the two halves slammed shut. The core instantly went supercritical. Witnesses described another blinding blue flash and a wave of intense heat. Reacting on pure instinct, Slotin lunged forward and ripped the hemispheres apart with his bare hands, stopping the reaction and saving the lives of everyone else in the room. But in that heroic act, he had sealed his own fate, absorbing an even more massive dose of radiation than Daghlian. Slotin died an agonizing 9 days later, after 2 deaths in less than a year, caused by the exact same object. A wave of fear finally swept through the scientific community. The plutonium sphere was no longer just a component. It was the Demon Core. The accidents forced a complete overhaul of safety protocols. Hands-on experiments were banned. Scientists were no longer allowed to work alone, and remote-controlled machines took over the dangerous work that human hands once did. The Demon Core itself was later melted down, its plutonium repurposed for other nuclear weapons. It never again existed in its original, terrifying form. It never leveled a city or caused a mushroom cloud, but its legacy is just as powerful. The story of the Demon Core is a haunting reminder that even for the brightest minds, confidence can quickly become complacency. It's a lesson written in tragedy, showing us the respect and caution that must be shown to the incredible powers we've unlocked. Thanks for watching.